Boo! Hey Evan, it's me, Evan. So I want to talk about something, and this may be quick, and it may not. And I may have to reshoot this because this is a sensitive subject for some people. First of all, let me just say this: my name is Evan. If you don't know me, my name is Evan. I am a transgendered man, and so I'm going to talk about some stuff that this moment you may not want to hear. You may not agree with trans people, and I'm going to refer to transgender people from here on out as trans. It's a mouthful to say transgender all the time. Transgender man, transgender dude. It's just I'd rather say I'm a trans guy. Yeah, I like to just say I'm a guy because that's how I feel about myself. However, humans like to label shit. So if you don't know, I'm a trans man. That means I was born a female, and at some point in my life, I realized that didn't align with my physical presence here on Earth, that I aligned more with how I felt inside, which was that of male perspective, male presentation, so I transitioned and became a man. Now, I'm going to talk about something that some trans people, and people in cisgendered people in general, don't like talking about, which is their own bodies. Okay, so now that I'm going to talk about my body, I don't have anything to say. I have a lot to say. Trans people, not all trans people, but some trans people have what they call body dysphoria. I think it's called body dysphoria. I could be wrong. There's another term, and they're very closely they're kind of somewhat probably seem related. I don't know that they actually are. I've read the definitions and I cannot remember. Of course, now that I'm talking about it, I can't remember. I probably should have prepared. But I just decided to do this on the fly because it's been bugging me. It's not been bugging me. It's just something that I think about more often now that I'm single again and thinking about possibly finding another person to share my life with. If you also don't know, my girlfriend passed away in 2020. That was not fun. It's still not fun. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still suffering. I don't know, I'm going to say it's suffering. I'm still experiencing grief. For some reason, my egoic mind thinks that I should already be over the passing of her because it's been almost 2 years. But I really don't feel that way. I'm not completely through the grief. It just sucks. But anyways, the reason I want to talk about my body is because that lady, Brandina, and I never had any real open discussion about my body and how I saw my body or how I felt about my body or how she may have felt about my body. As far as I know, she was okay with my body. We had sex. We had a lot of sex. It was good sex. We talked about how much we liked having sex with each other. We looked forward to having sex with each other all the time. So I never really felt the need to explain anything to her about how I felt about my body or my insecurities about if I had any insecurities and what they were or are, because some of my insecurities about certain parts of my bodies have come to pass, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with myself physically. For the most part, overall, I'm very happy with my body physically. It's just that, and I'm gonna get kind of maybe detailed. So, like I was saying before, if you're not wanting to hear this conversation, then you might want to just stop the video and click off. And if you are a trans person and you are watching this and you might get triggered by talking about the body parts of a trans person, then I definitely suggest you don't watch this video because it will probably trigger you, or it will trigger you. I don't really have I don't have, it's weird, I don't really know if I have extreme body dysphoria or any body dysphoria at all, because I'm, for the most part, like I said, pretty much very content with what my body is like now and how it functions and everything. So I'm gonna kind of discuss my body because that's the body I have, that's the body I'm in here on Earth. And so I'm just gonna go from my perspective. I cannot say that this is every trans man's perspective or every trans person's perspective or experience for that matter. This is just my perspective and my experience while I went through my transition and am still, I guess, transitioning. I don't know. I don't really know if it ever stops. I mean, I don't know. So I have not had any bottom surgery. I've only had top surgery. So I had breasts. I had them removed. You can see my scars right here. They go all the way up underneath my arm, and I couldn't even tell you where they stopped because I haven't stared at my scars in forever. And I don't really know where they stop because I can't really look that far at my body under there. I want to say they go all the way up underneath my armpit, almost to where my back and my side start, and it's the same over here as well. I had an awesome surgeon. I'm very pleased so far with the results. I need to work out. I have not worked out. Otherwise, you'd have like nice pecs here. I did work out after I had my surgery and was able to start exercising fully again, and I got some like really nice muscle tone on my body. And then, like I said, my girlfriend passed, and that kind of shit, that whole idea of taking care of myself in that way kind of just went to the wayside. I've now started being more active now and taking care of my body, so trying to be more active and take care of my body, so hopefully I'll get my muscle mass back, and then we can do a comparison, I guess. I don't know. I have not had any bottom surgery. It's different between trans men and trans women. What the actual surgeries are, I'm not going to go into detail about it. If you want to know, look at that shit up. I'm not here to blast everybody with shit they are not interested in hearing or speaking about, but I will say that I have not had bottom surgery. So with that being said, I'm going to be very open and honest, in the most least offensive way possible, meaning that if you were to take a general outline drawing of a human figure, then they'll usually show the female, and then they have the little curvy lines here for your breasts, and then they usually show the male, and they may or may not have something for the penis. So if you were to take those two images and cut them in half, and take the bottom part of the female and the top part of the male and stick them together like a paper mache, then that's basically what my body would look like with no clothes on. I do not have a cisgendered phallus. I have not had bottom surgery, so I don't have any real, I don't know what the word is. I guess dick. I mean, I don't want to be a dick and like offend people, but I have not had the surgeries to go forward with any of that, because I don't feel that I need that. I mean, I've thought about it, but it's very expensive. The surgeries are surgeries, and they're very expensive, way more expensive than getting these guys taken off. And the results are not always that great. It just depends on the surgeon and your body and where you go to have the surgery and all that good stuff. And so it's just not something that I've really thought about, really. Don't think, not to say I don't think about it, but it's just not something I really thought about per se often. And so because of that factor, I don't know if I want to date again. I don't want to have to explain that, because I didn't have to explain that to Brandina, because she was my twin flame as well. And if you guys know anything about the twin flame journey, there's a lot of push and pull. There's the whole like a runner chaser aspect, and we had some of that going on. But for the most part, there's a very, very huge aspect of the twin flame journey, which is unconditional love and fully accepting the person for who they are at that moment in time, regardless of, regardless of your past expressions that you did in your life prior to meeting them. There were things I did, I know, that got on her nerves, and there were things that she did on occasion that I was like, what the hell? But I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. It didn't bother me. I accepted her for her, and she accepted me for me, as far as I could tell. We had a great open communication for the most part. And the fact that I didn't have to explain my body to her was very refreshing and a huge relief and a giant, giant weight off my shoulders. Uh, it was like being Atlas and holding up the earth for so long, and then somebody finally going, you know what, bro, you don't have to do that anymore. Let me set this down for you. And him going, what? I don't have to do that? Ever again? Whoa. Oh, fucking awesome. And yeah, that's how I felt. And then she died. And so now, it's not that I don't think I'm not lovable. It's not that I think I'm not worthy of having somebody. It's that I do not want to go through that bullshit of being rejected from somebody because they are not in tune with their own, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, they're just not in tune with themselves, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of you watching this are probably like, oh, Evan, it's not that big of a deal. Well, you know what? If you're not a trans person, and I'm sorry if you're my friend and you took offense to that, because until you walk a mile in a trans person's shoes, shut the fuck up if you're not trans. I'm sorry to be rude about it, but just shut the fuck up. What do you fucking know about walking your life in the shoes of a trans person? Nothing. If you're cisgendered, you don't have to think about that. And if you think that this is not a big deal for some people or for some trans people, you're fucking wrong. There may be some trans people out there that don't worry about that. They'll never, ever, ever, ever worry about it. It doesn't bother them. But for the most part, from what I know, and the people that I've spoken with that are trans people, nobody likes to talk about the bodies. Because 90% of the time, their bodies don't line up with how they see themselves to be when they look in the mirror. Being able to see yourself, even though I know that this is just a flesh costume, and that I am an energetic being having a human experience, the fact that I have to look at growing up, the fact that I had to look at a reflection, a physical reflection of something that I did not align with in any way, shape, or in any physical level, or on any emotional level, or any mental level, did I ever feel comfortable being a girl or a woman. I never identified. I never felt comfortable in that body. I never wanted to be naked in front of anybody. I never wanted to show any part of my body in front of anybody. I just didn't like it. Hell, I wouldn't even look at myself in the mirror for the longest time because I didn't want to see what I saw at the time. And now that I have had the top surgery and I feel more aligned, because this is a huge visual cue for a lot of people. If you got these and none of this facial hair stuff, and people are gonna go, that's a chick. Even if some dude is carrying like 2 melons under his shirt for whatever reason, and like, or maybe I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they've got something on their shirt. People just go, there's a boobs. They see lumps here and they're like, boobs. I mean, it's been so programmed into our minds from the very beginning of as we know it. So to not have this, to be able to go like this all the time. Not that I do it. I used to do it all the time because I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, what's wrong here? There's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. I don't do it anymore. But when I first had my surgery, I did it a lot. So there's just something that's been ruminating around in my brain, and it's just bugging the crap out of me. Like, no offense, but I met someone through a friend, through an acquaintance. I met somebody, and they were a cisgendered man, and they basically complained to me about how big their dick was, and I was like, so. I was just like, really? Of all the things, I mean, I understand. I on a certain level, I get it. Like, this guy has had an issue with his dick. For him, his dick is too big. He's had problems with it, or whatever. But the thing is like, I don't have one to complain about. Boy, would I like to have one to complain about. Fucking yeah, that would be great to be like, oh, my dick. Oh, but I don't fucking physically have one. I mean, I was told this by a cisgendered female once. She expressed to me, man, it must be really tough for you to date. I was like, why? She's like, it must be really hard for you to find a woman who wants a man with no penis. I also encountered somebody on Instagram recently who is a minority and is in the LGBTQIA group of people, from what I understand, and they basically came at me and told me I was living a lie and that I'm not a man and that I shouldn't go around forcing people to accept me as a man when I'm not. Those two things are really, really hard to hear. They were really hard to hear at the time. Now, I don't really have any. It's funny. I don't really have any like feeling. I don't. There's nothing emoting. I'm like, I'm kind of. I'm basically indifferent to it because for me, that's not my truth. That's not my truth at all. I take testosterone. I take testosterone every week, just so I could visibly have facial hair, have the specific muscle tone of a man, um, to grow, to grow, to grow facial hair. Also, for my voice to deepen. This is not as deep as my voice is. I had been working with a voice coach, and I had to stop because I had other endeavors I wanted to pursue and focus on those. And so I haven't really done any of the exercises that lady gave me, but my voice is generally usually deeper. In the morning, it's really deep because I'm relaxed and I'm not trying to speak to people that I know used to know me as the person I was before I was Evan. And so for some reason, I always seem to like kick up my voice to a higher range. But if I were to relax, y'all would hear my true voice, and I don't think I can do it right now. I can't. Well, I guess I could. I don't know. This is probably it. But anytime that I get excited or emotional, I go up into here and in my throat, and I start to try to speak up here in my head because that's where uh, I believe, and if you think about it, a lot of women, most women speak in this part of their body, where most men speak in this part of their body. Uh, and so I wasn't taught to speak from my diaphragm. My grandfather used to try. My grandfather Pop used to always try to get me to speak from my diaphragm because that is how your voice projects, and people will hear you loud and clear. um, so yeah, I try to channel him a little, and I try to stay relaxed. But when I'm really passionate about something or feel emotional about something, then my voice will go up and I'll start talking like this, and this is not my natural pitch, and it's kind of annoying. So yeah. But anyways, there's something to think about. I just want to be very open and honest. I've been asked to tell my story, and this is part of my story. By telling this to people, apparently it's supposed to help people heal and heal me in turn from the experience I had growing up and my whole life experience and all the stuff that I've gone through, all the traumas I've gone through, all the bad poop that I've waded through over the years. I don't see how talking about my body's gonna do that, but hey, maybe it'll help somebody not feel so fucking alone as a trans person. I don't know. I will say this: it is something that I do worry about because I have to explain myself. I shouldn't have to explain myself to my partner, and that was the beautiful thing about that lady is she told me the one time I did try to explain my body, I basically was like, hey, this down here is my dick, so you know what to call it if you're ever confused. I mean, I was kind of a rude ass about it, and she just looked at me and she was like, okay. And I looked at her like, what? No, you don't understand. This is my dick. Like, this is my dick right here in my pants. This is my dick. And she was like, yeah, I get that. And I was like, what? And she's like, you're expressing the need to explain yourself to me, and that is not necessary. I really wish you wouldn't do that with me or anyone else for that matter, because you should never feel that you need to be in a position to explain who you are and why you're taking up space in your universe. Like why you exist should never have to be explained to anybody, especially me. And I was like, holy fuck, I love this woman even more. I already loved her so much, now I even love her more because she's telling me to note I don't have a problem with your body, and whatever you want to refer to your body as, that's fine by me because it's your body and I love you. And I may have to explain myself again to someone if I decide to open up my heart to love again in that fashion. Like, I'm opening up my heart to learning to love myself. I'm not really, I don't know how I feel about the other stuff because it's not her. Which is, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I just wanted to say that it's been bothering me. I guess maybe getting off my chest will help me not worry about it so much. I miss her. I miss her a lot. Okay, so some food for thought. For those of you who didn't know, if you're cisgendered, you probably don't have to explain your body very often to people unless you have something like maybe some weird birthmark or a mole or freckles or something of that nature. Something where you had an accident or a birth defect or something. Or hell, maybe you're just like, I have this one part of my body and everyone says it's fine, but I don't like that one part of my body. Well, imagine that for your whole fucking body. Every day, all day. Imagine that feeling about your own body all day, every day. Uh, that's probably the best way I could describe it. Just being completely uncomfortable in your own skin. Like, if you ever remember what it's like to be embarrassed by something and you felt very uncomfortable in your own skin, magnify that times 100, and then that's every day for a person that's trans that hasn't transitioned. Yeah. It's the little nuances that nobody talks about. So, there's that. I'm going to go get off this thing. I think I've spoken too much. I might have to edit this. I don't know. But thank you for joining me. If you find this informative or helpful, hell, even entertaining in some way, you're welcome and thank you. Yeah. Oh, I'm wearing this hat because I'm chilly. I got my hair cut today and I don't have that much hair anymore. See? So, yeah, my head gets really cold. And it's really cold outside. Alright, well, thank you for joining me. I might do this again. I feel like I may have forgotten some aspects that I wanted to speak of. So I may record this again. I'm not sure. But anyways, have a wonderful day. And I will see you on another time. Alright, bye.